9 times out of 10 none of this fits. You just got to, especially on the older bikes like this, they just get bent out of shape, and if you're doing a WLA military one, when you put the gun racks on and all that stuff, nothing ever fits, because it's RiE-Pro as well. 9 times out of 10 it's just a pain in the arse. Well, these go in here, yeah? They should go in there like that. So obviously this is out of shape, yeah? That sits in the slot there. Once that's pulled up to there, they go in there. That tang sits in the back of the forks there, so you have to fanny around with them, file bits out, and then you can, when you're nuts on there, you just push your lock tabs over. I don't lock anything up at the moment till you know it's all in.
But when it comes to reassembling a bike, is there a kind of an order in play which you're going to... I mean,
no, what I like to do is obviously get your forks in and get the wheels in, so the bike's actually standing, it's not wobbling around on shit, you know. So once the mudguard's in, because you've got to put the mudguard in on these before the wheel goes in, you can't put it on or off afterwards. So get the ride control in, sort out painting those bits. I won't lock any of the front end up yet, and then we can get the front wheel in. Then the back mudguard in. I'm waiting for the Craig to send the rack down at the moment, because realistically, you've got to take the back wheel back out to get to the nuts on the back of the rack. Yeah, you get it on its wheels, and then put the engine in, gearbox in, and then all your other bits just bolt on around the outside.
And what wiring? What stage do you start doing the wiring?
Once the engine's in, yeah, mudguards on them, because you've got to run a wire down through the hole there, it goes to your marker lamp. You've got to run your wires from here when these are all in, and your battery box for your wires for the rear lamp. Once the engine's in, then I put the handlebars in, because otherwise you're fannying around with all of your cables and everything are just in the way. So get the engine in, then put your bars on. So basically a rolling shell, engine, gearbox in, everything that bolts around it, all your footboards, blah 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 blah, then do your cables and wiring.
What part is that?
This ride control, it's like a suspension damper. So as you tighten that up, it squishes all the bits together. The fibre washers either side of that squash together, so it dampens the front dive on the forks. So that goes on the outside, and that goes on the inside. They're your friction pads, they slide, and see where it's been sliding it? So that just gives you a bit of damping. That'll go in there, that's that. So these often don't fit either. And you've got to try and wiggle it round so the square bits line up. It's got that one. It's got that one. He goes on there, tap that through a little bit more so it locates. And then that is your tensioner. See those little notches in there, look? So that's an indent pushing through on that spring steel, and they go on those ribs. So as you tighten it up, it just stops it rattling loose. And get, like, if you want to click it up 2 more bits.
Yeah.
That's all that is. You hear it start clicking. Yeah. There you go, so that's nipped up hard now.
How tight should we doing this up then?
This you can do up tight now. That's why you leave all these loose, because the square bar goes through it,
yeah.
And those could be anywhere. So you want some movement on them. Get a bit heavy on the front end now. Okay. So that's your ride control in. You just adjust it on that. Put your tension on or off.
And that's just down to personal preference, is it?
Yeah, yeah, literally just down to how you like the feel of the front end.
And that's ride tension.
Yeah, ride control they call it. So you can loosen off your springs, you can tighten up that.
And what difference would that make to the ride?
F***ed up.
Oh no.
Got to take the mudguard out. Because if you don't put the steering damper in, you can't get it in. What a moron. What a dick. Right, that wiring's in, the horn wiring's in. So we'll leave them where they are. Give them a clean up. I don't want to go too mad with the cleaning of everything, because he wants his sort of ratty look, you know. Why is everything going together so easily? Right, what that is, yeah. So we've roughly tensioned. You have to do it again later, but we've roughly tensioned our headstock bearings, yeah.
Mhm.
Now that plate goes on there. That drops down through there. And see the serrated edges that were on that?
Yeah.
So that, when you get it in the right place, will drop down into one of those.
Yeah.
And that just holds everything where it should be, yeah? That's nice. You don't want it so it's slapping side to side, but that's nice, feels proper. Now, there it is. I've got to take that off again. My brain. I messed up big styly. This is why it's always better to lay all your parts out, because I've just gone in the box and I've forgotten to put that in, which would have really made a horrible mess. Right, like I say, we'll put it all in for the moment to get the ride control, the steering damper in. But generally you have to, once all the weight of the bike and everything's on it, you can feel your headstock, make sure there's no play in it, but it's only taking the top of that off, undoing your lock nut, and that's it. Again, this is just, you can clean them out, blow them out, wash them out. If it's been sandblasted, it'll always find a bit of grit.
Is there any way of getting that cleaned out completely once it's got sand in it?
Yeah, you can. Your little brushes, bottle brushes, we'll give it a go with that in a minute. But normally this was seasoned up solid anyway. We knew it was jammed up, so. Right, let's try that. Like I say, it's just all the years worth of shit that gets stuck in them. Right, that'll go in there now. Put some copper slip on it in a minute. Okay, so we've got our spring, got our base. We have one of those. We have one of those. And that goes that way, doesn't it? And we have one of those. So that fits. That goes that way, that goes that way. Well, that goes in there. That lock tab goes in a bit in the forks, look. And that one sits in the frame. There's a little hollow in the frame there. And that lines up with that. Well, your spring goes down in there. And he fits down in there like that. Yeah, these often just seize up. Oh, make sure all of that is in line. Okay. Sorry. You don't want to go too far down with this, because what a mistake a lot of people make is they wind that thinking that is tension in the damper. It isn't.
Yeah.
Because until you've got the lock nut on the top there, so if you take that back about a turn and a half, there's nice and free there, yeah. So that's basically that thread that's on the outside of this piece and on the inside of your headstock.
Yeah.
As you turn that, it's pushing that up and down, pulling or pushing that, yeah. So that tightens your damper. So you can have that facing backwards, forwards. You've got plenty of movement on it there, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Right, okay. A little bit more. Right, so that's your steering dampers off, yeah? You whack that round there. See that rising as you do it? Well, if you watch that nut, when I turn that, yeah, that will lift up. See it?
Oh yeah.
So now, look, you can hardly move the bars. Back him off. So if you're going over a real shitty bit of road and it's banging you, all over the place, you just nip that up. That has a lock nut on it. You can tension that down a little bit more if you wanted to.
When did bikes stop having that put on there?
Well, they went to more modern style. You know, like your hydraulic ones.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much all of your bikes, unless it's a real tiddy little thing, have a steering damper on them normally. So that's all that lot in. Like I say, I'm not worried about cleaning any of this. Well, it's been washed off, but he wants it to look old, you know what I mean? So, like the chrome on the springs, I mean, if you're going to do one 100%, then it is, I mean, they're lovely things to put together when they're all right, but it's entirely up to the owner's choice, isn't it?
That's it.